Welcome to the NCAA FCS Championship quarterfinals on ESPN, and welcome to Vermillion, South Dakota. Little snow on the ground, but still a healthy tailgate scene for what looks like a fun matchup. 4 versus 5, South Dakota and UC Davis. Hop on the Harley and ride along with us. We check out the bracket. You know, the 12-team playoff in the FBS kicks off next weekend. The FCS playoff started with 24, and after today, will be down to 4. Winner here plays top seed Montana State. Championship game January 6th, 3 weeks from Monday on ESPN. And hi there and welcome inside the DakotaDome, along with the winningest quarterback in Rice history, Taylor McCarg. I'm Ted Emmerich. These are two teams, UC Davis and South Dakota, that have been driven by the chance to make history at the D1 level all season long. And today, one of them will go to the FCS semifinals for the first time ever.
The expectation for both of these teams is to try and win a national championship. And for South Dakota, this is a place they've been fantastic in this building. 7-0 all year, and that's the challenge for UC Davis on the other side. Have to play their best football for a team that's led by their seniors. They've got to put together a 4-quarter performance to come in here on the road and get a win with a chance to get to these FCS semifinals.
Yeah, these are two offenses that are very different, but Taylor, the running back is the focal point for both. Lan Larison for UC Davis, Travis Tice for South Dakota.
And Travis Tice is more of your battering ram style running back, likes to get downhill, vertical, and then finishes very physical at the point of attack, and especially in the red zone. Once you see South Dakota get into the red zone, it is the Travis Tice show. Tight red zone, he's going to try and finish off drives running the football. On the other side, it's about Lan Larison. This is one of the most dynamic players in the FCS, almost 1,500 yards on the ground. But I think it's what through the air makes him so special. Almost 1,000 yards receiving as well. Dynamic playmaker, was a finalist for the Walter Payton Award. And the challenge on the other side for Mikey's Grace is to slow him down. This was the Missouri Valley Conference Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to be the guy that has to slow down not only Lan Larison, but also get after quarterback Miles Hastings.
You know, Grace was quiet for a good part of last week's second-round win over Tarleton State, but he made some big plays late. Well, Taylor, we were here last week. Barrett Brooks joined me. I saw that hat. The guy's back with the frills on the cowboy hat. UC Davis winning the coin toss, deferring. South Dakota will have the ball first. And Keandre Jones-Logan is back deep. Returned a couple of kicks for touchdowns the first 3 weeks of the season. Off we go in the quarterfinals of the FCS playoffs. That's a touchback. And South Dakota will start from the 25 with their 5th-year junior at quarterback, Aiden Bauman, the native of Buffalo, Minnesota. Spent a couple of years at Iowa State behind Brock Purdy. Now he's making his 30th career start. And Taylor, what the coaches say about him is he is always under control.
Pro-style offense with a pro-style quarterback. You'll see a lot of under center, getting the shotgun as well. He's got total command of this offense and command of their run game, which is the focal point for this South Dakota attack.
Tice opens up right behind Bauman in the pistol. Ran for a South Dakota playoff record, 130 yards and 3 touchdowns last week. Gets the call to start, and he stopped at the line of scrimmage. Boy, that's going to be really the key for UC Davis all day today as Zach Kennedy, the first-team All-Big Sky pick, makes the hit. Can they slow down Tice in this running game?
And get South Dakota to 3rd and long situations. I think that's where UC Davis wants to try. Avoid the 3rd and short situations. That's where Travis Tice and this running attack are at their best.
Bauman's first throw is a completion to the returning J.J. Galbraith. His first game in 7 weeks, the tight end who is a major weapon in the passing game. What a boost for South Dakota today.
And despite all the action he missed, he was still first-team all-conference. Good to get him a touch early. They told us if he's back healthy, he will go. He's starting here today, already getting an impact on the second play of the game.
Suffered a shoulder injury in late October against rival South Dakota State. Has not played since. And yes, a snap count today, but he can be a difference maker. 3rd and 5. Bauman wires it, and too tall for Galbraith this time. Rex Connors was in coverage. Another first-team All-Big Sky pick. The safety had the assignment.
South Dakota fans wanting a call here. A little bit of contact right at the top, but I like the no call. Ball was high, a little bit of a grab from Rex Connors, but not much. And for UC Davis, couldn't ask for a better start. Remember, this South Dakota team, if you watched them a week ago, marched up and down the field against Tarleton State, chewed up a ton of clock. It was a great opening possession for UC Davis.
3 and out here as the punt is away from Tyler Ebel. Fair catch called for by Mateo Perez, and maybe some contact there as the flag is thrown.
Looked like Wade Abrams, number 49, backup linebacker for South Dakota. Looks like he makes contact.
Interference with the opportunity to catch a kick. Kicking team, 15 yards from the spot of the foul. First down, UC Davis.
We'll take a look on the right side. Number 49 clips just a piece. 49's there. It's 26.
Yeah, Mikey Munn.
Just a little bit of contact there, but enough to draw the personal foul, and now manageable field position to start for UC Davis.
Here is Miles Hastings, and by the way, he's thrown for multiple miles this year, 2.36 to be exact, or 4,418 yards. Leads the FCS in that category, and Hastings motions out on the first play from scrimmage as Lan Larison, the do-it-all running back, takes the snap out of the Wildcat, and Larison is cut down on the perimeter. Taken down by Shahid Barrows, the junior who had an interception last week.
And Barrows coming down from the corner spot. Good open field tackle. It's going to be an emphasis not just at the first level, but secondary, and even the corners have to be physical today in the run game against Lan Larison.
Hastings takes the snap this time. Firing and offline. Looking for C.J. Hutton, who was a big target a week ago in the win over Illinois State. At over 100 yards on 7 catches.
And early pressure from the South Dakota pass rush, which they told us that was the point of emphasis. Don't let Miles Hastings be comfortable, because if he gets comfortable, he will pick you apart. See if they bring pressure here on 3rd and long.
South Dakota rushes 4. Hastings off his back foot, and that's intercepted. Picked off by Josiah Gaines. His first pick of the year. And so South Dakota's defense picks up where it left off last week.
It looked like a miscommunication. Winston Williams, number 23, the tight end, doesn't have his head around. That's where Hastings is trying to go with the ball, and a great job reacting by JoJo Gaines.
Now, last week, Taylor, South Dakota had 3 interceptions in the second half as they were able to pull past Tarleton State. And now an early interception for Gaines, the 3rd of his career and first this season. Awesome field position for the Coyotes now inside the 40 of UC Davis. Bobble at the snap. Bellman finds his target on the slant. It's Carter Bell, the Coyotes' leading receiver this year and all time.
They told us they wanted to get Carter Bell involved early. Simple play action, slant in behind it. Top of the screen, look at this wide open window right in the middle of the field. That's an easy pitch and catch and a good accurate throw from Bowman.
Coach has told us this week about Bell. He's just a cool cat. He doesn't say a lot. What he does say is, I got you, Coach, anytime there's a teaching moment. He usually does. First down, here's Tice lowering the shoulder, and Tice is inside the red zone at the 17.
Going to see a lot of that today. Travis Tice meet Rex Connors. Rex Connors from the safety spot really likes to get downhill, involved in the run game. And like we talked about at the top, Tice, physical at the point of attack. You're never going to see him dive forward, go to the ground. He's going to try and run right through somebody for that extra yard or 2.
And Taylor, now with South Dakota in the red zone, you think this is a key matchup today against UC Davis's red zone D?
No doubt. They lean on Travis Tice in the red zone, and especially once it gets inside the 5.
The toss to Tice this time. And Tice staying upright. It's a first down and a 1st and goal for the Coyotes.
And blocked up so well on that left side. Left tackle Joe Cotton and guard Jordan Larson Massive haul off that left side, and then good physical running again at the point of attack. Very rarely is it the first guy that makes a solo tackle against Travis Tice.
And Kavir Baines was holding on for dear life there. You see the numbers from last week. Tice, the second all-time leading rusher for South Dakota. More than 3,000 yards in his 6-year career. First and goal, give it to Tice again. And Tice is stacked. UC Davis playing that well. Evan Bearden was there, along with a few of his friends.
And an element to this offense that's been missing again. J.J. Galbraith coming back. That's a red zone target. You see Bauman, go through any sort of passing attack. Is there a pop pass to Galbraith? Hayden Erickson also had a look last week as well from the tight end spot.
On what turned out to be a tip drill touchdown to Keandre Jones-Logan. Off Erickson's hands. Second and goal here. Jones-Logan in orbit motion. Bauman with the clean pocket to the end zone. A jump ball and incomplete. Jack Martins could not come down with it. Defended by Samaje Verner.
Great play design, but even better coverage by Samaje Verner. Watch how he doesn't panic, gets that left arm in there and fights all the way to the ground. That is a great job, not panicking, not running through the receiver, playing the ball like you're taught, saving a touchdown there from the corner spot from Samaje Verner.
The Aggies coaches were telling us, hey, we've had problems at corner this year, but Verner has been our most consistent guy, and he's playing really well as of late. Third and goal. Bauman drills it. That's caught. Galbraith has it for the touchdown. J.J. Galbraith making an immediate impact in his return to the lineup.
I love the play design. Galbraith sells like it's a corner route, but then sets it down, finds the soft spot in zone coverage, works back to the football. That's what allows him to make number 21, Gavin Cook, miss. And welcome back, J.J. Galbraith.
So much for the shoulder injury from 7 weeks ago. Back on the field and back in the end zone. And a 7-0 lead for South Dakota with the extra point by Will Leyland. J.J. Galbraith, they said, oh, he's going to be limited. He'll be on a snap count. He made this snap count for South Dakota. Well, last week in the second round, South Dakota here at home against Tarleton State, they were in a seesaw battle. They couldn't cover Darius Cooper. He had 3 touchdowns, but in the second half, how about some trickery?
Number 15
and on the reverse,
for UC
Carter
Davis.
Bell with the go-ahead touchdown for South Dakota. And the Coyotes sealed it with Karan Adams on the reverse from 70 yards out. The former Iowa State Cyclone taking it all the way. 42-31 the final as South Dakota advances to the quarterfinals for the second straight year. Now, they've actually come back in the fourth quarter, Taylor, each of their last 2 games, the other one against North Dakota State, to win a share of the regular season title in the Missouri Valley.
And that North Dakota State win down, they scored 2 touchdowns in just over 4 minutes in the fourth quarter. And last week, like we talked about, the 3 second half takeaways that they created, that was ultimately what sealed the game.
So UC Davis, boy, a good start defensively, forcing the 3-and-out, but the interception by Miles Hastings, JoJo Gaines coming up with it. Now they're down 7-0.
Expect more. Land Larison went to him on a direct snap on first down, got away from it on second and third. I think for UC Davis, get out of here with a win. It is going to have to run through Land Larison.
Larison being tugged at and dropped after a gain of a yard. So when UC Davis has the ball, Taylor, it is elite versus elite.
Best unit on best unit, really both sides of the ball. And for South Dakota, the safeties, maybe one of the best secondary groups in all the FCS.
Fake it to Larison this time, and Hastings hooks up with his target. And Chaz Davis with his first catch just short of the sticks here as UC Davis works up tempo.
And a big 3rd and short here after the interception on the first possession. UC Davis on 3rd and 1. If they don't get it, I wouldn't be completely stunned if they went for it on 4th and 1.
Couple of tight ends in, Ian Simpson and Winston Williams. Lead blockers for Larison. And just trying to make it to the 35. It looks like with the spot, he'll have the first down.
Like he ran into, Eli Simonson off that left side and just did get the 35-yard line to gain the first down.
Hastings throwing back to Williams and full extension from the first team All Big Sky tight end. Gain of 4 there. Nice job by Williams to corral it.
Looked like Nate Ewell, number 0. He's working to the right side, recognizes the throw back across. Takes a shot for Winston Williams there.
And so Williams exits. Ian Simpson, who already plays a lot, takes his place here with one tight end on the field. Pop pass to Trent Tompkins, turning the corner. And Tompkins stopped just short of the line to gain near the 45.
Tompkins, the converted quarterback, try to manufacture touches for him. You see a pop pass there. You'll see end around also for Trent Tompkins, and back to another 3rd and short situation.
Winston Williams is back on the field for UC Davis. Tompkins again in motion. Another pop pass to him, and he's dropped. And the flags come out because Nick Gage just ripped him down by his helmet. Maybe a horse collar there.
I think anybody that had a flag threw one on this play. Looked like a face mask from here.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 54. 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Take another look, and it is Nick Gage, number 54. It's that left hand out, and you don't see that. You get that helmet ripped all the way around. That's an easy one to call.
I mean, just blatant, and that's one of South Dakota's best players on defense. First team all-conference. Second in sacks behind Mykes Grace on the other side. And UC Davis with the penalty has it at the South Dakota 41.
Please start the game clock on my signal.
We'll get on board with that. Brad Carell, our referee today.
The clock is 7:39. Thank you.
You're welcome. See Bob Nielsen, the head coach of South Dakota, always in the trademark white shirt, red tie. He has led South Dakota to prominence here in the Missouri Valley in the FCS last few years. Hastings, the deep drop. Screen. And blown up. Mateo Perez wasn't going anywhere. Blake Holden was there.
Holden makes the play, but also Nate Ewell from the linebacker spot. Look at number 0 down here as well. He seals the sideline, nowhere to go with the football. Good job staying at home. That was designed to be a throwback up the far sideline. Nowhere to go with the football.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Hastings drives it, complete. It's C.J. Hutton. And Hutton to the 20-yard line with a first down.
And that's the exact throw that Tarleton State had a ton of success with a week ago. This is finding the soft spot, too high coverage in the seam towards the middle of the field. Big gain there for UC Davis.
Now running room for Perez, who works inside the 15. And a gain of 7 on first down.
And that was an area when we talked with head coach Tim Plow about Miles Hastings. Says he likes those 4 vertical style throws, those bender or beater routes right up the seam. Good example of it right there. Expect to see more of that. It's like we've got somebody down for South Dakota.
Now Gary Bryant III, the middle linebacker, dropped to a knee there. So the trainers come out, and a stoppage with 6:18 to go in the first quarter. And we'll step aside with South Dakota up 7-0, but UC Davis driving. Tim Plow, former UC Davis quarterback and assistant, now the head coach after Dan Hawkins resigned. The players, Taylor, told us this week there's just a swagger about Plow. We saw it with the mustache, like his players believe in him. Out of the injury timeout, 2nd and 3 for the Aggies. Hastings toward the end zone. That's caught. And a touchdown for Chaz Davis. His 8th of the year. The Aggies respond.
Great throw and timing. Chaz Davis coming all the way across. They run Samuel Batu. He takes the safety. Chaz Davis in behind. Good design, better throw, and a good response for UC Davis to get on the board.
Davis, the biggest targets and 6'3". He's having a career year now as a 6th-year senior. Here's Hunter Ridley, second-team All-Big Sky kicker, and he ties the score at 7.
After the opening interception, Miles Hastings connects with Chad Davis. All square in South Dakota.
Second round last week for UC Davis at home against Illinois State. They were down 7-0 early before scoring 28 unanswered, including 3 touchdowns from Lan Larison. Miles Hastings had a big game as well. Threw for 400 yards. This touchdown to Ian Simpson. And Tim Plow and family can celebrate. 42-10 as UC Davis advances to the quarterfinals here in the FCS for just the second time, first since 2018.
And I thought maybe the most impressive part of that performance was UC Davis's defense in the red zone. Illinois State had chances to score. There was a field goal block. There's some takeaways. There are a lot of ways that UC Davis bowed up when they needed to most in the red zone, and it's part of why this is a top 20 red zone defense. They will need that here today against South Dakota.
And South Dakota will start from the 25 yet again. You see the big offensive line coming out. You know, working with Barrett Brooks last week here at the DakotaDome, he said, like, this line would not be out of place at a Power 4 conference.
No, not at all. This is, in my opinion, the best offensive line unit in the FCS. We talked about Army winning the Joe Moore Award at the FBS level. Well, this is the same thing for the FCS with this South Dakota unit. They play well as a unit together, and I think that's a big reason why Travis Tice has so much success running the football.
And the coaches say that Lombard, the center, is the unquestioned leader up front. Bauman off the play fake. Down the seam for Karan Adams in stride. Adams trying to cut it back. Adams taken down inside the 5. He's the smallest player on the field, but he is a stick of dynamite. About 72 yards.
Well, max protection and matched up on the outside against the backup at corner, Wyatt Gardner. And Karan Adams separates immediately. Good throw from Bauman. And Adams with that cutback almost gets into the end zone, but this is an offense, so many explosive plays. 77 plays of over 20 yards coming into this season. They feast off those explosive plays.
You said UC Davis has to bowl up in the red zone again. Well, here's another chance. Give it to Tice. And Tice stood up after a short gain.
And that's part of the challenge. You saw a great example of it right there. Travis Tice hit at about the 4-yard line, wrestles all the way down to the 2. He never goes down at first contact. And once you get in the tight red zone, those yards become so valuable. Expect to see more of that. Also, J.J. Galbraith, we saw him with the touchdown earlier. That's going to be a big part of this red zone offense as well.
Redshirt freshman L.J. Phillips in motion, delivering a block for Tice, and Tice rumbles in for the touchdown. Travis Tice now a career touchdown mark here in South Dakota, number 38 of his career.
looks right there. Boom. Runs right through number 9, the middle linebacker. Guy that came into this game with 113 tackles, not afraid of contact, and Tice wins that one-on-one to get into the end zone.
Talking about best on best there, and Tice wins the battle as a man is down. Joe Cotton, the left tackle. And yeah, Tice just moved past Scott Jones for the most rushing touchdowns ever as a Coyote.
Good to see left tackle Joe Cotton get up. It's one of the guys that, with Cotton and Bryce Henderson on either side of the tackle spot, feel like they may have a chance at the next level. If you're South Dakota, obviously hope he can return. But Tice establishing that physical presence. It's been that way all season. When it gets in that tight red zone, I think that's where he shines most.
He's just a tone setter. It's that simple for South Dakota. As Leyland adds the PAT. You know, when we talked with the coaches this week, Taylor, Travis Tice, Bob Nielsen, his head coach, says there are some guys that are just football players. And it sounds cliche, but what Nielsen meant was if you were to ask him what his teammates do on any single play at any given time, he has the answer. He knows everything that's going on, and that's rare for a running back.
No doubt, and I think that's part of why you also see he's got so much success out of the backfield as well. Not necessarily as much as Alan Larison, but he's good in protection. He's good out of the backfield. He is a complete back. And oh, by the way, 5 yards now shy of 1,000. That would give this South Dakota team 2. Charles Pierre, haven't seen him featured yet, but he came into this game with over 1,100 yards. So 5 yards shy for Travis Tice. Imagine he will get there. It just speaks to this rushing attack that's featured here for South Dakota.
Yeah, Pierre's actually the leading rusher, but playoff time has been Tice time for South Dakota so far. Zeke Mata kicks it away. And Lan Larison with the fair catch for UC Davis. Ball comes out to the 25. Well, the NCAA FCS Championship continues next weekend with the semifinals Saturday, noon and 3:30 Eastern on ABC. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. And the winner here will head to Bozeman to take on the top seed, undefeated Montana State, which was a runaway winner over Idaho last night.
It's close for a little while. Maybe that onside kick. Everything changed after that, and from then on, it was all Montana State.
Hard to believe that was a 10-10 game at one point. Larison trying to get on track for UC Davis, and Larison some tough running, just like Tice showed a moment ago. Larison picks up 3 there.
Good first down carry. I think one of the things that stood out early in this game is the push that South Dakota is getting anytime Miles Hastings is dropping back. Not necessarily blitzing a lot, but the front 4, Mikey's Grace coming down, they're doing a nice job of making Miles Hastings a little uncomfortable to start the game.
Fake it to Larison this time. Hastings feeling the heat from Gaze, and he's wrapped up. Nick Gaze gets home. His 9th sack of the year.
And an excellent job by Nick Gaze, winning on the right side. Watch how he swim move, gets past Jace Rodriguez, who had pulled around, slips the running back, really beat 2 there, get home for the huge negative play in the sack.
Loss of 14. So it's 3rd and 24 for the Aggies. Hastings throws it short, trying to give some room for their punter, Hutton, pinballing around. He's dropped short of the 20. So a solid gain there, but 4th down for UC Davis.
It's been 2 plays in this first quarter for South Dakota. Obviously, the interception gave them great field position. They capitalized. Now the sack by Nick Gaze. Those 2 negative plays have kept this UC Davis offense off script. 2 out of their 3 possessions so far in the first quarter.
Cade Cox has taken over the punting duties for UC Davis, became the primary punter last week. And Carter Bell with the fair catch at the 45. So excellent field position for South Dakota. You know, South Dakota feels like they're on the cusp of joining the elite of the elite in the FCS. And what does that mean? Yeah, going to the semifinals and beyond, winning a championship like their rivals South Dakota State and North Dakota State have 11 times in the last 13 years. They're knocking on that door. They were in this round a year ago, played right here almost a year ago today in the quarterfinals, and got blown out by North Dakota State. They've been driven by that, fueled by it all season. Charles Pierre with his first carry, and Pierre squeezing through the hole, picking up 4 yards.
And a good run. Also, Travis Tice, we talked about how all of these accolades, running the football, closing in on 1,000 yards. Oh, by the way, he's technically a fullback. You saw him lined up right there, deliver a lead block. You'll also see L.J. Phillips, number 24, from that linebacker, or excuse me, from that fullback spot. But Pierre getting his first action, who we already talked about, over 1,100 yards for Charles Pierre as well.
Pierre's had under 10 carries each of the last 2 games. Coaches have been relying on Tice more, but the fact that you can sprinkle in an 1,100-yard rusher like Pierre, wow, what does that say about the depth of your room? Pierre can't turn the corner here. Stopped after a gain of 1, and it'll be 3rd and 5.
And good pursuit from the back end from UC Davis. Like David Meyer there first, but then cleaned up. Porter Connors, like Kavir Baines. And on the back end, Kavir Baines, Gavin Cook, Jaden Stanley. Those are the guys at the safety spot having to step up. Lamont Schamberger, one of the veterans for that back end, he's out today. Jaden Stanley and Gavin Cook, the 2 that will rotate from that nickel safety spot.
Bauman on 3rd and 5. Floats it. Looking for Martins. Did he bring that in? Looks like he did for the first down. A huge gain on the play inside the 25.
Perfectly thrown ball from Bauman. Watch how he drops this in the bucket. All the way to the outside. Perfect spot. Great control. That left foot was clearly down as he survived the ground. Looked like yes from there. This will be another good look at it. Left foot clearly down. Didn't see any sort of bobble. Great throw and catch.
Just his 10th catch of the year. Martins puts South Dakota at the 24 of UC Davis. Now Keandre Jones-Logan with a burst inside the 20. And he's got 5 yards.
And that's been, for South Dakota, really what's created the spark for this offense. It's been those downfield passing plays. You saw earlier the deep shot over the top to Karan Adams, Carter Bell as well. Again, this is a team that came into the season 29 touchdowns of over 20 yards. That is remarkable to have that kind of explosive offense.
You pair that with the running game with Tice grinding out yardage, it's hard to stop. And that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. South Dakota at home in the quarters for the 2nd straight year, trying to push through to the semis for the first time ever. They're up a touchdown at the end of 1 here in Vermillion. Welcome back to the NCAA FCS Championship quarterfinals here on ESPN. On to the 2nd quarter from Vermillion. Temperature has just ticked above freezing for the first time in a few days. Not that that's really a problem inside the DakotaDome. Ted Emmerich, Taylor McCarg, our entire crew. Winner here will go to Bozeman to match up with the top seed Montana State next Saturday on ABC. Spot in the semifinals at stake. South Dakota in the red zone with a 2nd and 5. Travis Tice hopping over the defense. Almost broke it there. He's got a first down to the 11.
Stop me if you've heard it before. Breaking tackles at the point of attack. This would have been just a couple-yard gain right there. Instead, another first down. for South Dakota. That first quarter dominated in production by South Dakota, most of which was through the air. Just speaking to, it really is a two-headed monster. Talked a lot about Tice and Pierre, both over 1,000 yards. Really, to this point, it's been Bauman in the passing attack.
And now Nevin Cremascully, the Northern Illinois transfer, is in. He's got a package. He's more mobile than Bauman. Keeps it here, and Rex Connors delivers the lick. Gain of a yard there.
Expect we'll see more Cremascully as well as the game progresses. Once it gets into the red zone, if it's not going to Tice, that's where Nevin Cremascully get that direct snap, get him on the edge. Some of that's also, I think, Ted, to take shots off of Travis Tice. As physical as he is, it's nice to have somebody in your backup quarterback spot. You can go design run game and not worry about one of your best players continuing to take those blows.
So Cremascully exits, Bauman back on, and LJ Phillips, the redshirt freshman, is the running back. And a timeout for the Coyotes. Play clock was running down.
Timeout, South Dakota, their first of the half. Timeout on the field.
And we'll step aside as well. South Dakota up 14-7. South Dakota's on the doorstep again, already up a touchdown. 2nd and 9 from the 10 here. And on the end around, Carter Bell. He scored on a play like this last week. And Bell picks up 3 to the 7.
Looked like maybe another touchdown similar to what we had last week with Carter Bell on that end around where he gets to the right side, but good pursuit from UC Davis. This is a big opportunity. It's felt like for UC Davis, I'm sure, like their defense has spent the majority of this first half on the field. You would feel like if you're UC Davis, this is a win here if you can force a field goal attempt.
And UC Davis, one of the better red zone defenses in the country coming in, but such a problem facing one of the better red zone offenses in the FCS in South Dakota. 3rd down. Bauman off the pump. Wide open man in the end zone. It's Galbraith, his 2nd touchdown. Welcome back indeed.
They take advantage of a bust in the back end. Rex Connors and Samaje Verner. Watch, they don't pass this off. Both of them jump. Carter Bell, no one tracks with J.J. Galbraith. And an easy pitch and catch touchdown for Galbraith's 2nd of the day.
He had 2 touchdowns all season. Of course, missed a chunk at the end of the year with the shoulder injury. And he's got 2 touchdowns in the first half of the quarterfinals. 21-7 Coyotes. You know, Bob Nielsen said it this week, Taylor, that J.J. Galbraith, it felt like we've been missing something in the passing game without him.
And you can see right there, Rex Connors puts his hands on his helmet. Not sure if it was Rex Connors or Samaje Verner, but one of them was supposed to obviously travel with Galbraith. You're exactly right, Ted. This is a huge piece for this offense. Remember, he has missed the last 7 weeks and was still first-team all-conference. Shows you the impact that he has when he's healthy and ready to go. The first touchdown, to me, a little more impressive, Ted. I think you and I could have caught that one, busting coverage on the back end, but
I don't know about me. I mean, you're the one who played quarterback at a high level. But J.J. Galbraith certainly can. Yeah, the smile on his face. Can you imagine, like, this season, what you've been working towards, in his 5th year of college football, and you know what the goal is, and you can't be out there in the most critical part of the season because you're hurt.
And that your teammates did enough to play long enough for you to have the chance to come back in and have an impact.
A little extracurricular activity there, but all sorted out. So UC Davis down 2 touchdowns now. They got to lean on Lan Larison, two of the very best in Division I, of course, at the FBS. Ashton Genty might win a Heisman later tonight in New York. It's fun to look at the all-purpose yards. This is rushing, receiving, and the return game for Larison and total touchdowns. Listen, nobody's Ashton Genty, but Lan Larison at the FCS level is pretty close.
And Genty, who I think should win the Heisman later tonight, but Lan Larison has done everything for this offense. Need to get him going on this drive.
And you see the numbers. He's been held in check so far. Off the toss, he's submarined. Just a 3-yard pickup as Tevin McKelvey went low.
Corners right now for South Dakota doing a great job rallying to the football. We saw earlier Shahid Barrows, Mike Reed, done a nice job being physical at the point of attack.
Larison almost intercepted. Nate Ewell that close as he met Larison at the spot on that angle route.
And telegraphed the entire way for Miles Hastings. He is staring this down. That's where he's going the entire way. And Nate Ewell beats Lan Larison to the ball. Fortunate that wasn't an interception.
Now the Aggies staring at a 3rd and 7.
Keep an eye on 0. Ian Simpson, the tight end, offset potential screen here.
He scored on a screen last week. Hastings looks deep, and it's caught for the first down. Trent Tompkins moving the chains.
Nice job from Trent Tompkins working back to the ball. Zone coverage, finds the spot right there. Good accurate throw for UC Davis to stay on the field.
Now in the hurry up, Hastings to the sideline, and once again it's Tompkins. Breaks a couple of tackles, and he dives inside the South Dakota 45.
And Hastings is getting hit almost every time they go drop back pass. I think that's why you're seeing some of the tempo right now, trying to slow down this pass rush for South Dakota.
Larison turns it outside. And Larison breaking tackles. Larison lowering the shoulder down to the 10. His best run of the day. Give him 30 yards.
And that tempo paying dividends. South Dakota a little tired. A nice job, vision to bounce this to the outside. Breaks 2 tackles, and that's really the first explosive we've seen from Lan Larison, as now Davis inside the tight red zone.
And Lan Larison needed that, the way he'd been bottled up to this point. 1st and goal. It'll be a direct snap to Larison. Their Wildcat package. The high school quarterback from Caldwell, Idaho, runs right in the middle of the line. No gain.
I think this will be likely, if I'm Tim Plow, I think this is 4-down territory. In a game where your defense having a hard time slowing down South Dakota on the other side, how many red zone trips are you going to get? To me, I think you call this as though you've got 4 downs to play with to get a touchdown.
Hutton the motion man. Hastings into the flat. Larison's got it. And Larison cut down by Mike Reed inside the 5.
And they may need to give...
Larison might be hurt here.
And they need to give Lan Larison a blow at the big carry. Still slow to get up. Good to see him up on his own power. Let's take another look. Gets into the flat. Turns vertical. Let's see, does that ankle get twisted? Yeah, it does. That left ankle. A lot of times you're going to the ground, that defender, if they fall on it. See if they're able to tape Lan Larison up. This is a rodeo guy. This is a tough dude in Lan Larison.
But man, that hurts. So on 3rd and goal, one of the best offensive players in college football at any level is off the field. Mateo Perez takes his place. Hastings pulls it to the end zone. Davis broken up. Mike Reed, the Monmouth transfer, all-conference in his first year with the Coyotes, defending it well.
And a nice job by Mike Reed. This is a big corner, 6'2", 200 pounds, long frame. See how he gets his eyes back to the quarterback? Doesn't panic, able to fight through. And Miles Hastings, fortunate that wasn't an interception. Great coverage from Mike Reed.
To your point, Taylor, UC Davis, no hesitation, going for it on 4th and goal. You see the numbers. Not great on 4th down this year. Hastings, this one is intercepted. Picked off by Gabe Hardman and returned out past the 10. His second interception of the year. South Dakota closes the door on that drive.
Bend but don't break defense for South Dakota. This red zone defense shines again. More pressure from Blake Holden. Second interception for this unit. A 2-score lead for South Dakota at home.
Well, last week, South Dakota was able to put away Tarleton thanks to their secondary and 3 second-half interceptions. Shaheed Barrows, Mike Reed, and finally Tim White. This is a defense that hadn't really forced that many turnovers or really interceptions all season, and they came in bunches at a critical time. Now they've got 2 more in the first half today of the quarterfinals. Gabe Hardman with the latest one, and South Dakota takes over from the 12. Tice hammers forward past the 15 in the arms of Rex Connors.
And that game a week ago, Tarleton only had 3 possessions in the first half. All 3 were touchdowns, and it was those turnovers in the second half. That's what turned the tide. And I think to this point, they've picked up right where they left off. 2 turnovers in the first half. That one critical inside the red zone. And for South Dakota, keeping momentum on their side by playing well on the defensive side and creating those takeaways.
Meanwhile, Travis Tice just went over 1,000 yards on the season, so a couple of 1,000-yard rushers for the Coyotes. Charles Pierre and now Tice. Tice again trying to struggle through the grasp of David Meyer. And a nominal gain there to bring up 3rd down.
I think that's one of the other things about Travis Tice that's so impressive is they will lean on him for all 4 quarters. These touches, they do not really ever slow down. Had 25 carries last week. And for a guy that runs that physical, you will see him continue to deliver those blows to defenders for all 4 quarters.
Tice exits here on 3rd down. Pierre is in. South Dakota so good on 3rd down all season and really good today so far. They need 4. Bauman looking deep, airing it out, and that's intercepted by UC Davis. Kavir Baines. Baines with his 3rd pick of the year, and the Aggies take it right back.
Flag down back towards the line of scrimmage. I think Tyson McWilliams, number 11, fortunate to get away with a little bit of a hold, but great play by Kavir Baines. Right as soon as it looked like Phelps got into his route, looked like number 11.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 55. That penalty's declined. 1st down, UC Davis.
Penalties called on Bryce Henderson, the right tackle for South Dakota. Baines with the interception that stands, but man down for that UC Davis defense. And that's Noah Masui.
And Masui getting played today. Joey Carrillo went down with an ACL injury a week ago. Masui adding depth for a unit that's a little thin right now. See if he's able to go, but a great play on the back end from Kavir Baines. And that was a huge momentum play, Ted, for UC Davis, where it felt like if there was a negative play to this point in the game, it was going in the direction of South Dakota. After that drive of Davis driving all the way down the field, not able to convert, and for them to get the ball back. Don't see Lan Larison in the game right now. Remember, he went down on that last possession, looked like with an ankle. He'll start this drive with Mateo Perez in.
So again, Larison still sidelined. And Perez gets the call on first down. And Perez slipping past. Picks up 6 yards.
Perez came into the year 58 carries for 240 yards, so plenty of work for him as well. Obviously a huge miss if Lan Larison's not able to go.
Again, you're talking about the nation's leader in all-purpose yards. More than 2,300 on the season. UC Davis's leading rusher and receiver. Hastings on the move, and he fires complete to Trent Tompkins, who's had a big first half.
And South Dakota fans calling for a hold. Looked like maybe Winston Williams, a tight end, got away with one. Starting to see Davis leave in Winston Williams or a tight end to help with protection. In the break, you and I talked about Miles Hastings getting hit on almost every drop back. Expect to see more running backs stay in to chip and tight ends stay in to add that 6th hat in protection.
The flip to Stacey Dobbins on the reverse. Nick Gay's giving chase. And Dobbins picks up maybe a yard there.
How about the effort from Nick Gaze? This is a defensive lineman tracking down receiver, number 54, all the way to the sideline, not allowing Stacey Dobbins to get the corner.
It's a lot of hustle from a 275-pounder. 2nd and 8, they gave him 2. Hastings unloads, and it's broken up. Tevin McKelvey knocking it away from Perez.
JoJo Gaines there as well. That was a dangerous throw for Miles Hastings. Look at this, 3 black jerseys in the frame. Fortunate that this is just an incompletion, and a great play recovering in coverage by Tevin McKelvey.
UC Davis needs 8 on 3rd down. Hastings wings it, and it's complete. Tompkins again moving the chains near the 30-yard line.
Such a good catch from Trent Tompkins, working back to the ball and fighting through that contact, come down with the reception.
Now the hurry up, Hastings in the flat, and Hutton is wrapped up by Gary Bryant III, no gain.
This was the first down. Curl route again to the boundary. We've seen this a couple times for Trent Tompkins, and he's got Shaheed Barrows all over him. Good job with that contested catch.
Now, Tompkins used to play a hybrid role for UC Davis, a lot of wildcat quarterback. That's what he was recruited as initially, but made the move full-time to receiver this year. And he and Hastings awfully close, they're roommates on the road. Swing it to Jordan Fisher, the sophomore running back. And Fisher inside the 30 with a gain of 5, 3rd down on the way.
And UC Davis going almost exclusively to the air now. Not a total surprise. Got a quarterback that came in throwing for more than 4,000 yards. And with Lan Larison out, I think they're going to continue to lean on Miles Hastings throwing the football.
On 3rd and 6, the slant. It's low, but it's caught by Chaz Davis. And Hastings and UC Davis extend the drive.
Surprised to see the outside leverage there from the corner. That's an easy, simple pitch and catch. Slant into the boundary, and really a little bit of a low throw from Hastings. A good catch from Chaz Davis. But a little, I was confused by that technique to give up the inside there on the slant.
Under 5 to play here in the first half. Larison remains out for UC Davis. And Hastings tosses it away. I mean, you have to recalibrate everything if Larison is not available, and that's what Miles Hastings and UC Davis are doing right now.
And guys like Mateo Perez and Jordan Fisher will have to step up in place of Lan Larison, who to this point still not back in the game.
Complete. This is Samuel Batu Jr. And Batu has a 1st and goal for UC Davis.
Quick game slant, this time all the way out to the field, and a good job by Batu. Watch how he flattened that route at the last second, working back to his quarterback. That is a really nice route from Samuel Batu.
Batu, a big play threat all year. First catch today, and it's 1st and goal for UC Davis.
Out of empty, we'll see if South Dakota decides to bring pressure here. Will they drop out of it? Looks like a potential pressure look as they've walked down another defender.
Screen for Fisher, and South Dakota rallies to the ball. Tim White was there, Chris Dixon, along with Carter Hooper.
And remember, this is one of the top red zone defenses in all of FCS football. Already have a takeaway in the tight red zone in the first half.
Hastings has thrown a couple of picks. 2nd and goal. Last drive, he threw one in the end zone. Tompkins, the motion man. And whistles blow. Flag down.
Ball start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That's on the right guard, Thomas Mirabella, who's taken over for David Main, who suffered an injury in the regular season finale against Sacramento State, a knee injury that's going to cost him the rest of the season. So Mirabella, the San Diego State transfer, stepping in.
And a killer there for UC Davis, who's proven they are willing to go for it on 4th down, going in the wrong direction in the red zone.
Yeah, now 2nd and goal at the 10 instead of the 5. Hastings whips it. That's caught for the touchdown. Mateo Perez. So Lan Larison's replacement finds the end zone for a much-needed score for UC Davis.
Stepping up in place of Lan Larison, the arrow route. Good job winning. Good accurate throw from Miles Hastings. That was a huge answer for UC Davis after the turnover created on the other side from Kavir Baines.
The senior from the Bay Area with his 1st touchdown of the season. And Hunter Ridley adds the extra point. Couldn't come at a better time for UC Davis as they pulled to within a score. They cash in on the interception by Kavir Baines. Hastings leads him down the field, and he hits Perez for 6. And did UC Davis need that or what? Lan Larison still out after turning his ankle on the previous drive. Mateo Perez takes his place. And off the interception, Miles Hastings and company put together a touchdown drive. Now 21-14 South Dakota late here in the first half.
And if you're Davis, they get the ball coming out of half. So there's still a chance here. They can get a stop. You almost feel like you steal that extra possession if they can figure out a way to get a stop here before half.
And remember, UC Davis will have the ball to start the second half. We do not have an update on Larison, who was one of the 35 finalists initially for the Walter Payton Award, Offensive Player of the Year here in the FCS, but he is still on the sideline for UC Davis, getting the medical attention. So we look at the quarterback comparison here. Aiden Bauman for South Dakota, Miles Hastings, the nation's leading passer for UC Davis. What has stood out to you so far?
Well, the efficiency with Bauman, 6 of 9 for $130. You'd love that as a quarterback. That means they are hitting their explosive completions. And then for Miles Hastings on the other side, pretty efficient. The problem for Hastings has been the misses have been turnovers. A couple of those have been drive killers. If he can clean those up, I think you feel a lot better about yourself if you're UC Davis.
Pierre opens the drive at running back for South Dakota. And Pierre streaming inside the 30-yard line. Good gain on first down. He's got 6.
And a good job by that offensive line, this time on the right side. Adrian Hawkins, Bryce Henderson winning at the point of attack. You don't see any penetration right now from this defensive line. Anytime South Dakota's trying to run the football.
That's a South Dakota offense that wants to grind their opponents into dust with Pierre and Tice, but they've got the explosives to marry with that. Karan Adams and other weapons on the outside. Keandre Jones-Logan gets knocked down after a gain of 1, and 3rd down now for South Dakota, and a timeout for UC Davis. 2:24 remaining.
Good play again by Meyer, and this is a big 3rd down, just like we talked about a second ago, Ted. Still have 2 timeouts if you're UC Davis. If they get a stop here and can force a punt, you've got a chance to get in your 2-minute scenario, try and get points before half in a 2-minute drive, and then they get the ball coming out of half. This would be massive for momentum for UC Davis in a half where that first quarter and some change, it felt like almost everything had gone in the direction of the Coyotes. Big opportunity here and a massive 3rd down.
I mean, it looked like South Dakota was about to run away with this thing. Going up 21-7. Lan Larison is hurt. And the game turns with that interception by Baines and the drive that Hastings led, converting 3rd downs along the way. Now can they get a stop?
If they put it in the air, don't be surprised if there's play action, and find where J.J. Galbraith is.
Galbraith has scored twice today. He's lined up at tight end, top of your picture. Motion man Jones-Logan. Bauman, screen to Galbraith. Right on cue, Taylor. Does he have enough room here? Galbraith off the sidestep. He had the 375-pound nose tackle, Princeton Toki, lurking. And Galbraith steps out, looks like just short of the line to gain.
And I think fortunate that there's not a hold called. You see right there, Gavin Cook gets spun all the way around and tackled to the ground. Looked like a miss. Galbraith not able to get the 1st down. Be interesting to see, do they go for it here? Look like they are content to take this to the 2-minute timeout.
We'll find out after the 2-minute timeout. Will Bob Nielsen go for it? V-Week continues here at ESPN. Every year we partner with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. You can join the fight with us against cancer. Go to v.org/donate. Thinking about your end-of-year charity giving? Consider the V Foundation. 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. Well, the decision for South Dakota is to punt on 4th and a yard as we come out of the 2-minute timeout. Ted Emmerich, Taylor McCarg, our entire crew. Probably the right choice at their own 34 after all. And Ebel sends it to Perez. Fair catch at the 15. So UC Davis down 2 touchdowns not that long ago. They cut it to 1 score. They come up with the stop defensively. And Taylor, they've got 2 timeouts, 1:54 to work with here.
And a nice job on the last possession. Mateo Perez, again, having to step up in place of Lan Larison, who we talked about, went down with the ankle injury a couple possessions ago. And Ted, this is huge here. 2 timeouts. It's an up-tempo offense. They are totally comfortable working through a 2-minute situation. Oh, this is a long way to go, backed up in their own territory. But for Hunter Ridley, feel comfortable anything inside 50 yards. So opportunity here to try and get points before half.
And again, the Aggies will have the ball to start the second half as well. Hastings the flip. C.J. Hutton around the other end. And Hutton with a flag down as he lowered the shoulder near the 25. Picked up about 8 there, pending the marker.
Holding. Offense. Number 0. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still 1st down.
It's the tight end, Ian Simpson.
And interesting that was called by the back judge all the way behind the play. That head referee and line judge in the vicinity. Neither one of them called it, but back judge saw the hold from Ian Simpson. Now thinking about the same thing for South Dakota. They still have 2 timeouts.
And now they've got UC Davis backed up inside the 10 with the penalty. That last drive, Hastings and the offense, they were able to stay on schedule, stay in rhythm. This disrupts it for sure. The run with Perez, and not much there. Gary Bryant III covers him up. Gain of 3.
Interesting play call. It's that cat and mouse, right? If you put the ball in the air and it's incomplete, that opens the window for South Dakota to use those 2 timeouts, especially with it being backed up at a 1st and 15. If you're UC Davis, you don't want to give South Dakota on the other side the chance to get points before half.
And South Dakota choosing not to call a timeout here, so the clock melting away. Hastings into the flat. Perez makes it past the 20. 3rd down upcoming, and now the timeout for South Dakota. With 1:05 to go, it'll be 3rd and 4 for UC Davis.
It's the same scenario we talked about in the last possession for South Dakota, but if you're UC Davis, paramount here that they pick up a 1st down. Don't want to give South Dakota back the ball, but if you're UC Davis, it's also, you can get out of here down 1 score with 2 first-half turnovers. I think you feel pretty good about yourself. And then the question becomes, is Land Larison good to go? Is there anything they can do? We've heard that he is taped up trying to run around on the sideline. We'll see if he's able to go in the 2nd half, but a big 3rd down here. If they are able to pick up the 1st down, they can take it into half and avoid having to give South Dakota another possession.
And there is Larison, just as you said, Taylor, still testing out that ankle. Again, the left ankle injured a couple of drives ago. 3rd and 4 for the Aggies. They run it with Perez, and Perez has the 1st down across the 25. So the clock stops momentarily here with 59 seconds.
And now you'll see tempo. You're back into 2-minute mode. If you can get an explosive here, you're right back into your 2-minute drill. Hastings pulls the trigger, intercepted. The 3rd of the half for South Dakota. It's Tevin McKelvey with his 1st career pick. The Coyotes are Bullhawks today. Well, Hastings is baited into this throw. McKelvey drops right underneath the comeback route. He's trying to get it to C.J. Hutton. But McKelvey's not fooled at all. Good job reading through the quarterback's eyes, getting to the correct spot on the field, and a huge shift in momentum for South Dakota.
And Charlie Coyote loves it. So does Tevin McKelvey. And South Dakota has it at the UC Davis 38. 1 timeout, 51 seconds. Bauman slings it. Bobbled but caught. And Galbraith taken down after a gain of 4. Clock rolling here at 42 seconds. And man down well behind the play for South Dakota. Clock stops now. That's Jordan Larson, the left guard. And I'll tell you what, with the clock rolling and an injury timeout, South Dakota would be subject to a 10-second runoff here.
Or using their final timeout.
Correct.
We'll see what Bob Nielsen elects to do. Sounds like they will use that final timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff.
So they do spend it to avoid the clock running down to 31 seconds here. Larson shaken up, heading to the sideline. And South Dakota with an opportunity here after that turnover.
And a little interesting kicking situation for South Dakota. They're right on the edge for where they feel like Zeke Mata could make an attempt. Had a miss of over 50 a week ago. If it gets inside that 40-45 yard range, that's where you'll see Will Leland.
Yeah, Mata has the bigger leg, the kickoff specialist. Hit a 52-yarder back in week 1. But Leyland is their primary place kicker. His range is 45 yards and in. Need to get a little bit closer for him. 2nd and 6. Bauman, too much on it and too tall for Galbraith.
Like Bauman thought Galbraith was going to set down his route. Galbraith kept moving. Now, if you're South Dakota, you want to pick up anything here. Try and improve your field goal distance. This is not a gimme for Zeke Mata. What would be at about a 52-yarder from here.
Again, out of timeouts here as well, South Dakota. Bauman dumps it. Tice looking for the sideline and a first down. He dives for it. And Tice is marked out just inside the 30. He's a yard short of the line to gain. Fourth down for South Dakota. Clock stopped at 30 seconds.
Watch the effort at the end here from Travis Tice. It looked like he was going to be at a 4th and 3. Well short. Goes vertical. And now decision time. We've talked about some of the kicking issues. You're still right there on that edge of do you go with Will Leland or Zeke Mata. We'll see if there's a hard count here. Do they try and draw the defense off sides? We don't have any timeouts, so probably not a hard count. I would imagine they go for it.
And South Dakota hasn't gone for it much all year, as you see. On 4th and a yard. They do give it to Tice, and he's got more than the first down. Now South Dakota in comfortable field goal range. Clock stops momentarily, 24 seconds. It'll roll with the chains resetting, and Bauman looks like he'll clock it. Does just that with 22 on the timer. Well executed there.
Well executed and well blocked in the interior. Again, I've been really impressed with this offensive line. To me, I'll say it again, I think this is the best unit in all of FCS football up front, and a good job getting that 4th down conversion.
So 2nd and 10, again, got to be mindful. No timeouts remaining. Bauman toward the end zone, caught by Carter Bell, trying to stay in bounds, and he is ruled out at the 2. He made contact with the pylon there, but the ruling is he stepped out as he was leaping for the end zone.
And more confusion on the back end from UC Davis. This does not get passed off, and that's how Carter Bell ends up wide open. Does step out at about the 3. They're saying the football, when he steps out at the 3, the ball's at about the 2. But now with 16 seconds, should have enough time. If you want to keep this on the ground, in theory, you've got enough time to get back. Looks like we'll get a timeout first from UC Davis.
Timeout, UC Davis, their 2nd of the half, 30 seconds.
I mean, now it just feels critical for UC Davis to come up with some kind of stop and hold South Dakota to 3 here.
And that interception, the 3rd of the half for Miles Hastings, proving to be another critical error. After they'd picked up the first down, if you're Davis, you're hoping best case, maybe we get down to field goal range, but let's just get out of here. Don't give South Dakota a chance for points before half, since UC Davis, again, getting the ball when they come out of half. But I agree, Ted, huge spot here if you're UC Davis to try and force a field goal attempt.
So 1st and goal at the 3 for the Coyotes. UC Davis will have the ball to start the 2nd half. Jones Logan in motion. Bauman wires it, incomplete. Intended for Jack Martins.
Good coverage from UC Davis and really nice protection from South Dakota. Bauman working from right to left all the way through his protection, or through his progression, excuse me. He got down to his 4th option and still not touched.
Coaches love how Bauman has progressed in year 2 with the offensive coordinator, Josh Davis. So much more comfortable, more freedom. And UC Davis
Timeout.
calls its last
UC Davis,
timeout.
their 3rd and final of the half, 30 seconds.
What are you looking for here?
I like Carter Bell. They had him in the slot. Looked like they may have gotten man coverage out to the field. We'll see what look now that UC Davis has seen that look as well and burned that timeout. I also think you're telling Aiden Bauman, he will know this already. Again, he's been around for a while, played a lot of football. But the worst thing, obviously no turnovers, but you cannot take a sack in this situation. I like simple reads, half field, maybe one route. Also keep an eye, he's got 2 first half touchdowns, J.J. Galbraith.
And Galbraith lines up to the right at the top of your picture. 2nd and goal. Both teams out of timeouts. Bauman uncorks and a leap. And was that picked off the tip drill? It was intercepted by UC Davis. Taken away by Gavin Cook.
Huge play, and this should have been a touchdown. Bauman double clutches. The ball is late, and that allows UC Davis to rally to the football and come away with this interception. See if he has control. I don't think there's any question. That is absolutely a turnover. What a play from Gavin Cook, who again is stepping up in a backup role for Lamont Schamberger. But Ted, that should have been a touchdown. Right away, Carter Bell was wide open. Bauman, I don't know if he couldn't see him, but he double clutched the ball, and that pause allowed Davis to rally and come away with a huge takeaway before half.
And somehow UC Davis remains down by only a touchdown. Without Lan Larison for a good part of the end of that first half. And it's just a one-score game here in the quarterfinals of the FCS playoffs. South Dakota up, but they leave points on the field. South Dakota up a touchdown here at the half, the quarterfinal round of the FCS championship in this matchup between two teams from the two best conferences at this level. UC Davis from the Big Sky, South Dakota from the Missouri Valley. Glad you're with us here at the DakotaDome. He's Taylor McCarg. I'm Ted Emmerich. What a wild first half. And it looked like South Dakota was ready to put this game away, going up 21-7. Lan Larison, UC Davis's do-it-all-back gets hurt, but credit to the Aggies for they're continuing to fight. Some surprises, some things that I don't think we expected coming into this game, but I think the South Dakota defense picking up right where they left off in creating turnovers, that's been the biggest thing, and I think is why they have the lead right now. But 5 combined interceptions in this game. Defense is a little bit of giving up a little bit here, but those creating those negative plays, I think that's what's kept this to a one-score game right now. Yeah, especially right at the end of the half. It's been interceptions galore, really, for both sides. 5 combined with the two teams. Miles Hastings has been feeling the heat today. This started right out of the gate on the first possession, and then this was maybe the biggest surprise. J.J. Galbraith coming back, had 2 first-half touchdowns. Travis Tice, as we expected, getting touches in the red zone. This is the 2nd touchdown for Galbraith, who's had a huge presence in this first half. But right when it felt like momentum was all on the side of South Dakota, UC Davis able to create their first takeaway, drive down the field and capitalize on a score. And then before half, this may be the play of the game through the first half, able to create a second takeaway on what looked like was going to be a 2-score game for South Dakota. Now still a 1-score game, and UC Davis, coming out with the ball. Yeah, we take a look at the stats from the first half, and yet turnovers definitely telling the story there at the bottom of the screen. Now, otherwise, see the total yardage, pretty even. UC Davis has been good on 3rd down, but the question now moving forward, will Lan Larison be available? We were told at the half by an official with UC Davis, it's not like he's out of uniform. He has been warming up. We saw it on the sideline at the end of the first half. He's been jumping up and down, trying to do calisthenics in the locker room. We'll just see if he can go in the second half. Well, let's check out the other quarterfinal matchups today in the FCS. South Dakota State, the 2-time defending champion, matching up with the 6th seed Incarnate Word just up the road, I-29 in Brookings. Mark Gronowski firing to Griffin Wilde for not 1 touchdown. How about 2? The first 2 touchdowns of the day. Jackrabbits roll 55-14. So they're on to the semifinals. Would North Dakota State join them? Taking on Mercer on ABC. And Cam Miller with a touchdown pass, also a touchdown run. One of the top 3 finalists for the Walter Payton Award, the Offensive Player of the Year in the FCS. Miller has the Bison up 21-7 in the second quarter. The winner of this game here in Vermillion will head to Bozeman to match up with the number 1 seed, undefeated Montana State. The semifinals next Saturday, both of them on ABC.
think about what we expected through for South Dakota State and Incarnate Word. Obviously heavy favorite there, but Montana State taking care of business last night. This game we expected maybe to be the closest out of the four this weekend. And that's living up to the tale through the first part, and I think we'll have an exciting second half coming up.
And the second half is on the way. Lan Larison still in uniform. Will he be on the field for UC Davis? Welcome back to the NCAA FCS Championship quarterfinals here on ESPN. Here in Vermillion, South Dakota, some 200 years ago, Lewis and Clark camped here on their way out west, and it's pretty fitting that we have two teams that are trying to explore a new frontier for their own program. South Dakota, UC Davis, looking for their first ever trips to the FCS semifinals. That is what is at stake. Ted Emmerich, Taylor McCarg, our entire crew. South Dakota up a touchdown, but the Aggies will have the ball to start this second half. And we'll see if Lan Larison will be available after all. Turn that ankle in the red zone in the second quarter. Did not return, but continued to warm up, trying to test it out after getting retaped. Not out here on the kick return. It's a fair catch. And UC Davis will have it at the 25. Now, Miles Hastings, the nation's leading passer, coming in more than 4,000 yards on the season through 3 picks, also 2 touchdowns in the first half.
But I loved that shot we just had a second ago of Miles Hastings smiling on the sidelines. I think that's that confidence that head coach Tim Plow has really put in this entire team, and especially in his quarterback. Hey, he had 3 first-half turnovers. Let's forget about that. Let's be present, fresh eyes. They talk about that all the time. Approach every play as its own play. Big opportunity here in the second half.
No Larison to start the drive. It's Mateo Perez, and Hastings off the play fake. It's Trent Tompkins, his 7th catch today, and Tompkins moves the chains for seemingly all 7 of them.
And tempo right back on the ball. No personnel change, so not allowing South Dakota to change out of their personnel either.
The direct snap to Perez, so using him just like Larison. Remember, he caught a touchdown in the first half, and Perez takes it for 2.
I think the run game with Lan Larison out, we didn't see a ton of Mateo Perez. That could be the element. They try to get more on the ground, just go direct snap to Mateo Perez.
Hastings on the move, and he hits Tompkins again in South Dakota territory at the 48.
This was such a nice job by Miles Hastings staying with this play, and good body control from Trent Tompkins. Has that left foot down. That looked like it was going to be a throwaway. I'm going to give them the extra yard to the 48, bump that up a yard. But that was really nice staying with that play from Miles Hastings and Trent Tompkins.
Tompkins goes in motion. They give it to Perez. Finds an alley inside the 45. Picks up 4 yards. You mentioned fresh eyes for Miles Hastings. It's a mantra that Tim Plow taught him back when he started recruiting him as a high school quarterback out of the San Diego area. No matter what happens on the previous drive, good or bad, approach the next series with fresh eyes. Come back to neutral, he says.
And that's whether it was a negative play or positive. It's all about being even keel, trying to never be too high with the highs or too low with the lows, and I think Miles Hastings embodies that.
Hastings pulls it on second down. Dumps it to Perez. Oh, and Perez just stumbled. Lost his footing there. You know, this is a unique surface, Taylor. It's not field turf with the rubber pellets. It's like a thick carpet, and Perez just lost his footing. UC Davis has been good on third down today. They need 5.
It's a big screen team on third down. Haven't seen a ton of screens to this point in the game. Keep an eye on Winston Williams, the tight end, down to the right.
Tompkins in motion again. Hastings climbs the pocket. He is devoured. Sacked by Blake Holden. His 5th sack of the year, and it's 4th down.
And a coverage sack on the back end. Really nowhere to go with the football. South Dakota just rushing 4. You see Hastings going through his progression. That internal clock has gone off. It's not a guy that really wants to take off very often. But that sack, credit to the back end and really sticky coverage for South Dakota.
A product of Watertown, South Dakota, about 160 miles to the north. Blake Holden with the play. Now the punt by Cox. And a fair catch inside the 15 for Bell. So South Dakota with a stop to start the second half.
The first round of the college football playoff begins Friday, December 20th.
Man, how much fun is this going to be? The debut of the 12-team playoff and first-round games on campus. Cannot wait for next weekend.
These on-campus games, I think, are going to be absolutely fantastic. These environments, I mean, Indiana, Notre Dame, getting an in-state game, that's going to be unbelievable. Ohio State, Tennessee, Texas, Clemson, the return for Cade Klubnik back to Austin, who played at Austin Westlake. Storylines all over the place. Cannot wait for next weekend.
South Dakota forced the punt to start the second half. They take over at their own 12-yard line, up a touchdown here in the quarterfinals of the FCS playoffs. Drive starts with Travis Tice bowling to the 15. You know, you think of the FBS, new 12-team playoff, the FCS, 24 teams, and the difference in scholarships too, 85 per team at the FBS level and 63 for every FCS team, but still an incredible level of ball here in the FCS.
I thought UC Davis did a pretty nice job with Travis Tice in the first half. The chunk plays were really giving up more through the air, but limited Travis Tice to under 4 yards a carry, which was a huge emphasis for that defense coming into this game.
And you saw Bauman threw picks on each of the last 2 drives for the Coyotes to close out that first half. Bauman to J.J. Galbraith. Boy, he's got to love having his tight end back today. Again, his first game in 7 weeks, coming back from the shoulder injury, and he moves the chains.
And Galbraith moves like a receiver. They turn him loose to the outside. Good throw, but so smooth as a route runner. It's amazing the impact that he has once he's back healthy in this offense. Again, missed the last 7 weeks. The 2 first-half touchdowns, picking up right back where he left off in that first half.
A couple of touchdowns in the first half, went for 19 yards there. Not exactly a full go today. He's been in and out, but he's been on the field when it matters for South Dakota. Pierre the back here on first down, and Pierre's tripped up. Taken down by David Meyer, the leading tackler for UC Davis. He has been omnipresent for the Aggies on defense.
And I wonder if we'll start to see a little bit of tempo change up. Great play from David Meyer, but he is jumping their snap count right now. I wonder if we see the snap count change up a little bit. You go with the false signal. You said it. David Meyer has been all over the field to this point today. The guy that, again, came in today, 113 tackles. He was also singled out on our coaches' calls. South Dakota, they knew exactly where he would be and then how important David Meyer would be to that defense.
2nd and 11. Bauman wings it for Galbraith. Incomplete. Too tall and in tight coverage there. Porter Connors, the linebacker, and the twin brother of Rex Connors, the safety, had the assignment.
And now Galbraith really getting some attention. Porter Connors carrying that deep. You also had 21 Gavin Cook over top, sort of in a bracket coverage. Gavin Cook had that interception to end the first half, who, remember, he's filling in for Lamont Schamberger, who's out, has done a nice job in the backup role today.
And so Galbraith off the field here on 3rd and 11. Bauman guns it. Incomplete. In between 2 receivers there, Keandre Jones-Logan and Carter Bell, and South Dakota has to punt.
And man defense, which we haven't seen a ton of from UC Davis, but Tyson McWilliams in coverage from the corner spot. Good coverage, nowhere really to go with the football. Both defenses coming out of half, forcing stops.
Tyler Ebel ready to kick away to Mateo Perez. And Perez with just a bit of room, and he's snuffed out. Mikey Munn with the tackle, just short of the 30. Timeout as UC Davis has it back. The NCAA FCS Championship continues next weekend with the semifinals Saturday, noon and 3:30 Eastern on ABC. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Land Larison remains on the sideline. He was a part of the offensive huddle coming out of the timeout, but remains out with the left ankle injury suffered in the first half. Hastings to the air, and a catch for Chaz Davis, coming back to the football at midfield.
Trent Tompkins on the last possession. This time, we have a couple different opportunities where UC Davis working back to the football, helping out their quarterback, Miles Hastings, when he gets on the move.
Davis, who had the first touchdown today for the Aggies, picks up 20 there. Backwards pass here. Hutton looking downfield. Oh, he lost the football, and it's scooped up by Gary Bryant. South Dakota has its 4th takeaway of the game. And 3 flags at the end of the play. Simply a disaster for UC Davis.
It looked like some sort of unnecessary roughness or late hit at the end of the play. They try to go double pass, and Hutton right here just has to eat this. Get what you can get. He tries to pitch it backwards.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Passing team number 79. 15-yard penalty. First down, South Dakota.
They get Ernesto Nava, the right tackle, another free 15 yards for South Dakota. But right here, it's a double pass. It's not there. Eat the ball right here. Go down. He tries to make too much happen. Puts it on the ground, and now the 4th takeaway created by this Coyotes defense.
You see Nava at the very end, flags thrown, and South Dakota is already going to start in UC Davis territory before the penalty. We'll see how they walk it off, but so the play is under review, and if they're looking if this was actually a forward pass, I mean, that was clearly backwards. Like you said, they're setting up a double pass for C.J. Hutton. Going to take a
They're looking, does this ball, this is going to be a fumble because the ball ends up going forward, but he loses control and then pushes it forward. This will stay as a fumble. Watch as the ball separates out of his hand, and then he goes to grab it, pushes it forward. They're reviewing whether or not did this come out as a forward pass and would be an incompletion. That's not the case. This will stay as a fumble.
It's almost like Hutton realized at the last second what was happening. It was trying to maneuver that left arm forward to create a forward pass and an incompletion somehow, but I see that as a fumble.
Yeah, Ted, I agree. I think this should be a quick review. Nava at the end. See what he's doing, trying to go protect his quarterback on the ground, but called for the free 15 yards.
And again, the ruling on the field was a fumble by Hutton, recovered by Bryant and South Dakota. And Brad Correll give us the call.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, South Dakota.
Coyotes defense that just hadn't forced all that many turnovers before the playoffs hit. Try 3 of them, all in the second half last week against Tarleton State, and now 4 takeaways here today. So 7 in the first 2 rounds of their playoff run. They had the first round bye.
And came into the playoffs creating just 11 takeaways. So it has been a huge part of their success in the playoffs.
With the penalty, they set up at the 24 of the Aggies. Fake it to Keandre Jones-Logan. Here's Tice. And Tice bowling over defenders. Down to the 17. He picks up 7.
And good patience and vision again from Tice. Starts this to the left side, bounces this, then back to the right side. Boom, right there, fighting through a tackler. Says hello to Porter Connors. You say it again for Travis Tice. There's so many runs where it feels like it's going to be 3 or 4 yards. It ends up 7 or 8 yards. Always fighting for the extra yardage.
Tice again with an avenue. And Tice is down to the 10. First and goal for the Coyotes.
This offensive line really taking over right now. Watch on the right side. This is pushed back. Easy opening for Travis Tice to pick and choose from.
I mean, it is a chore to tackle Travis Tice.
And it's never the first guy. Have to have multiple hats rallying to the football, swarm tackling to get Travis Tice down.
One more carry for Tice. To the edge and a flag down. Looked like Tristan Michaud was trying to clear the way. And this might be coming back.
This one was pretty obvious. Call from our head referee and then also from the back judge as well.
There are 2 fouls on the play by the offense. Holding, 59. That penalty is declined. Holding, offense number 55. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
The entire right side of the offensive line. Adrian Hawkins called. Bryce Henderson. Take a look, right side of the offensive line. Third guy from the right. 55. Gets beat across the face and then spins his defender around. Also see number 23 getting held there as well.
That's
Kavir Baines.
That's the one I saw with Michaud out on the edge, grabbing Baines.
Everybody gets a holding.
Yeah. And so now first and goal from the 20. Pierre's the back. And Pierre can't cut it back. Ran into Rex Connors. Twin brother Porter helping clean it up. Loss of a yard.
And Connors, Rex Connors that is, great job winning across the face of the receiver trying to block him. Blew this play up from the very beginning. And this defense that's given up the chunk plays, they've done a nice job. Credit again to UC Davis. When it's gotten into the tight red zone, they have bowed up and given their offense, who's had all these turnovers, new life. This would be huge again for UC Davis if they could create a field goal attempt here.
You know, Rex is a 3-year starter. For Porter Connors, it's his first year starting. Coaches say we always knew he had the potential just like his brother, and he's shown it this year. On second and goal. Oh, David Meyer delivering the hit on Pierre, just kept going. And Pierre reaches the 15. He picks up 6. Now third and goal.
And Meyer is still down. Took that shot in the hole. That left arm dangling down. A lot of times that's where you see stingers come from. He went immediately to the turf.
Man, for Lan Larison to go down in the first half, and now David Meyer defensively for UC Davis.
And 9 coming down left to right. That is uncharacteristic for David Meyer. We've called his name a bunch, seen him around the ball all over the place. Very sure tackler. Delivers the blow, really receives the blow. Looks like he'll have to come out for at least a play.
These are 2 All-Americans. The teams have not been announced yet, but Lan Larison and David Meyer, absolutely All-Americans, and both getting hurt here. Hopefully for UC Davis, Meyer can return soon. Third and goal. Bauman movement off his back foot to the end zone. And incomplete. Phelps couldn't come up with it, but a flag is down.
Tyson McWilliams, the corner, thinks this is going to be offensive pass interference. Javion Phelps trying to get him the deep ball to the outside. Does this go against McWilliams?
Pass interference. Defense. That foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Massive call against UC Davis. Watch top of the screen. Number 11 gets hands on the receiver.
What do you think?
Ted, I didn't see enough there for that to be pass interference. A little bit of hand checking from both of them, but I didn't see enough of a hold. That is a massive call in favor of South Dakota.
That changes everything. First and goal at the 2 now. The toss, Pierre dropped it, and it's scooped up by Zach Kennedy and UC Davis. This game is simply insane. The 4th takeaway now for the Aggies. Unreal.
And second takeaway created inside their own 5-yard line. Happened right before half with the interception. And this time a fumble created by the drop pitch from Charles Pierre. And Zach Kennedy able to jump all over it. Massive to get momentum back on the side of UC Davis.
Both offenses just keep giving the ball back to the opposing defense. A combined 7 takeaways now after this fumble by Charles Pierre.
And Pierre just takes his eyes off the football. Zach Kennedy, right place, right time. That looked like it was going to be a walk-in touchdown. And now instead, the 7th combined turnover in this game.
Land Larison, the all-world running back, remains on the sideline with the left ankle injury. So give it to Mateo Perez on first down. And he picks up 2, maybe 3.
If you're UC Davis, take a deep breath, right? If you're an Aggies fan, you're saying, let's just not have a turnover here. If nothing else, try and flip the field with field position, if nothing else.
They have hung in this game throughout, despite the injuries and despite their own turnovers. Perez again, and he picks up a couple to the 10, 3rd and 5 coming up.
And this has been a spot and situation that has been in favor of South Dakota. Obvious passing downs where this front is able to get after Miles Hastings. That's gone in the direction more often than not of South Dakota. Do they dial up pressure here? It's a pressure look that they're showing, or do they back out of it and just rush 3?
And keep an eye on Trent Tompkins in the slot at the top of your picture. He's been Hastings' favorite target today. Instead, the other way. It's Simpson. Split out wide, the tight end with the first down to the 20.
And they rub off of Ian Simpson and the other tight end, Winston Williams. It's a legal pick play. That's what creates Ian Simpson coming wide open against that man coverage.
And UC Davis works up tempo. Hastings fires to Tompkins this time. Bumped, staying on his feet, and tossed down with a first down thanks to that tackle at the 31.
At curl route again for Trent Tompkins. Look how he back to the football. That's such a nice job and a good route from Trent Tompkins. Remember, a former quarterback that I think really understands route running and what his quarterback is thinking.
Hastings to the flat, and Simpson again. And Simpson picks up about 3. You know, you take away Larison again, 1,400 yards on the ground, close to 1,000 yards receiving. The offense runs through him, and Miles Hastings and company, they have adjusted.
Absolutely have. Mateo Perez has done a nice job. Also seeing Jordan Fisher back in the game now. But if I'm Tim Plow as a play caller, I'm wanting to keep going up tempo. That seems where Miles Hastings is most comfortable.
Hand it to Fisher here. And Fisher crawls across the 35 with 3 yards. 3rd down and 4.
But I understand the danger of tempo. If you don't pick up first downs, your defense that's been on the field for a lot of this game, you're putting them back out there. But that seems to me Miles Hastings is most comfortable on the ball, quickly, going through his progressions in tempo.
6 of 10 on third down today. They need 4. And Hastings throws it away. Feeling a little heat from Carter Hooper there. And it's 4th down for the Aggies.
And I think some miscommunication with Samuel Batu on the outside. This looked to me like there was supposed to be an outbreaking route from Samuel Batu, who set it down. And that's why you see Hastings just forced to throw it away. A missed opportunity. Only silver lining if you're UC Davis, that drive started backed up inside their own 10-yard line. You at least gave yourself some breathing room.
And they didn't turn it over again in their own end.
And they didn't turn it over.
Oh, it's a fake! And the up man has the first down across the 41. UC Davis moving the chains. It's Luke Sirach, who sees time at linebacker out there on the punt team, and he picks up the first down.
And Sirach gave a huge effort to pick this up. This was not a guarantee. He had to fight through a couple tackles to pick up that first down. What a gutsy call by Tim Plow to keep this drive alive.
Pop a bottle for Luke Sirach as UC Davis is able to continue the drive. And a timeout here.
The ruling of the runner making the line to gain is under further review.
So they'll take a closer look. Did Sirach make it past the 41? He needed the 41-yard line, and he was spotted down at the 42.
I didn't think this was close. I thought it looked like he had gotten a full yard. But say again for Sirach, the effort. That is a linebacker as your up man on punt, that he's not used to fighting through tackles. It's not like we're talking about Travis Tice from the running back spot here. This is a linebacker having to fight for extra yards. Reaching that ball forward, I don't think any question past the 41-yard line.
Yeah, you got to check the knee in this case, but again, with that dive over the Coyote that's prone on the ground, I don't believe that there would be enough evidence to overturn this, that Sirach would be down short of the line to gain. And again, you got to check where the ball is in that case.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner made the line to gain. First down.
Love that call from Tim Plow, and was interesting how quickly they got on the ball there. For punt coverage gets out, go through their process quickly, made that snap before South Dakota had a chance to adjust.
When we talked with Miles Hastings this week, he said he just instills a belief in us. There's a charisma, swagger about Plow. Tipped pass, and it's intercepted by Mosai Newsome. Interception number 4 for the Coyote defense. And a thick man pick as the 320-pounder comes up with it off the tip.
Well, it's huge that this ball is tipped, because this is going to be a big play. Looked like Carter Hooper, defensive end, got the hand up. Mo Newsome able to come down with it. If this ball isn't tipped, great job from Carter Hooper. This is going to be a big play for UC Davis. There was no one left for Jordan Fisher. Instead, the 4th interception of the day for this Coyotes defense.
And the 5th takeaway overall for South Dakota. Coyotes take over at the 33, and Tice has a crease. Tice to the 21. 13 yards on first down.
Now if you're South Dakota, saying the same thing. Get down to this spot of the field. Let's take care of the football. 2 red zone turnovers, 1 before the end of the half, 1 on the last possession.
8 combined turnovers. 5 of them by UC Davis's offense. My goodness. This is the quarterfinals of the FCS playoffs, right? Tice again. A stiff arm and a hurdle. A mini hurdle. Inside the 20. Picks up about 5.
For the guy that is the bell cow back, really leaning on him in this third quarter, giving you a little bit of everything. He's now well over 1,000 yards on the season. We talked about it in the first half. Expect all 4 quarters Travis Tice to continue getting touches. They feel like he gets even stronger once they move into the fourth quarter.
And it was certainly the case last week against Tarleton State in the second round when he ran for 130 yards. Might be the final play of the third quarter. Bauman airs it out. End zone. That's a touchdown. Carter Bell beats his man. And South Dakota doubles its lead.
Perfect throw. Great timing. That corner route with Carter Bell has been there all game. This time, another one dropped in the bucket by Aiden Bauman. Body control from Carter Bell to secure that catch, have that foot in bounds. The Coyotes point after attempt away from extending this to a 2-touchdown lead.
And Will Leyland does just that. Right at the end of the third quarter. Takeaway after takeaway after takeaway. Aiden Bauman and South Dakota taking advantage here.
And a nice job on the route from Carter Bell, stemming it inside, creating that leverage and space to the outside against the corner, Tyson McWilliams, and the timing was great here. Throw this to the outside, away from the defender. I think for Bauman, that's one of the throws that he is clearly most comfortable with, is that corner route. If you're a South Dakota fan, you're saying, hallelujah, a trip to the red zone with no turnover.
Bell had a touchdown last week. He's got one here to extend the lead. And Bauman and Bell have formed quite the connection over the last 2 years. And Bauman has grown in this offense. Josh Davis, the offensive coordinator, former assistant at South Dakota State, just up I-29. Davis has told Bauman, hey, don't do what you think I want. It's your offense. It's your team. You've got to run this. And Aiden Bauman has matured in his 2.5 years as the starter at South Dakota. Off the bounce. And on the return, just past the 25 for UC Davis. Well, the Coyotes have come up with 5 takeaways defensively today.
4 interceptions, a fumble on the trick play with C.J. Hutton as well, but it's really been a mix. This was the one when Davis had momentum on their side, C.J. Hutton trying to do too much, and then the last possession, this is the one that I think Miles Hastings, you say, not much I could do there. Carter Hooper able to get that hand up and Mo Newsome taking advantage. 5 total takeaways. Remember the 3 again from last week. 8 takeaways since the playoff have started. They only had 11 through the entire rest of the schedule.
And again, no Lan Larison here for UC Davis, still on the sideline. And Hastings has to throw it to his own sideline.
And Hastings trying to continue to move the pocket to his right side. There's a flag on the far side.
There is no foul for an ineligible player downfield. The quarterback legally grounded the ball.
But moving the pocket for Davis, you thought that would be an influence. They've done that quite a bit today. This pass rush for South Dakota, even when they're not blitzing, been very effective today against UC Davis.
Final seconds of the quarter. Hastings whips it. Davis avoiding McKelvey. And Chaz Davis has a first down at the end of the third quarter.
That's the end of the third quarter.
So UC Davis down a couple of touchdowns. Got to stop turning it over if they're going to have a chance in the fourth and a chance to head to the FCS semifinals. Welcome back to the NCAA FCS Championship quarterfinals on ESPN. Start of the fourth quarter here in Vermillion, South Dakota, the DakotaDome. Coyotes lead UC Davis 28-14. The winner earns a spot in the semifinals next Saturday in Bozeman to take on touchdown Tommy Malott and the top seed Montana State on ABC. Ted Emmerich, Taylor McCart, our entire crew. Remember, all roads lead to Frisco. The FCS Championship game 3 weeks from Monday on ESPN. UC Davis has endured 5 turnovers. They're within a couple of scores. Hastings dumps it to Ian Simpson. Close to the 50 here. But again, Taylor, they've been without Lan Larison, the leader in all-purpose yards in the country, one of the best running backs in all of college football since the second quarter because of an ankle injury. Mateo Perez, his replacement, and he gets stuck. Picks up a yard before Tevin McKelvey said hello.
Was a massive hit in the hole from Tevin McKelvey. That absolutely is one where you got to go have some help fixing that chin strap. Watch on the left side, number 3 flash right here. Boom!
It's 3rd and 2 for UC Davis. Hastings, Simpson able to reel it in, and Simpson has the first down to the 45 of South Dakota.
Simpson was so close to Hastings that it looked like Hastings for a second there thought about just tucking this and running. This is a huge drive here. All the momentum still on the side of South Dakota for the most part. Down 2 scores, all the takeaways for Davis. I think everything at this point is 4-down territory. You've had a hard time slowing down South Dakota on offense. Have to come away with not only points here, but I think everything moving forward has to be touchdown drives for the Aggies.
Hastings has thrown it 40 times today. Throw number 41 goes to Trent Tompkins, his top receiver today. And Tompkins is inside the 40 with a gain of 7.
Tompkins immediately grabbing that calf, able to jog off, but maybe battling a little bit of cramps. Tompkins has been huge today. A lot of it's been that curl route, working back to the football. That time finding the soft spot on the slant route to the inside.
Now 10 grabs, over 100 yards for Tompkins.
And soft coverage right now on the back end. These underneath throws are there if Hastings wants them.
And he takes advantage with Chaz Davis. Another first down to the 30-yard line.
And that's stealing on the outside. Shaheed Barrows is backed off, backpedaling. This is day 1 install stuff for Miles Hastings, able to raise up and just throw the out route to Chaz Davis.
Hastings 31 of 42 for 271 yards, couple of touchdowns and 4 interceptions. And yet UC Davis is still in this game. Off the pump, deep throw to Hutton. Flag down in the backfield. Hutton pulls it in close to the 10-yard line. But it's coming back.
Offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's on the right tackle, Ernesto Nava.
And this wipes away an incredible throw. Watch number 79 on the right side. Looks like he's getting beat. Just pulls down. Actually wasn't getting beat. Just pulls down Carter Hooper, which wasn't necessary. But look at this throw. Drops that in over the defensive back, Tim White.
Wipes out a huge gain. And it's 1st and 20 for UC Davis. They empty the backfield for Hastings. To the flat, and Fisher. And Fisher hit right at the line of scrimmage.
Really nice coverage on the back end from South Dakota. This was all designed to get to Samuel Batu on a drag route coming all the way across. Nothing open. And even with Hastings hitting his check down, you saw, look at all those black jerseys rally to the football for no gain. Good team defense.
Hastings underneath. Fisher again on the move. And Fisher running into the arms of Tim White inside the 30-yard line. Third down just became a lot more manageable.
And matched up against Gabe Hardman. That shallow cross, this is a good job putting it on your running back and allow him to outrun number 33, Gabe Hardman. What would have been just a 5 or 6 yard completion at yards after catch gets it to a third and manageable.
Perez checks back in for Fisher. 3rd and 7.
And this is 4-down territory to me, Ted. As well as South Dakota has moved the football all day, I don't think a field goal does much for you here.
Even though they're in Ridley's range at this point. Hastings, the drag route. Batu reaching for the sticks. And it looks like he's got it. It's a first down at the 20.
Great effort from Batu at the end of this. It's another shallow cross. Fights forward and reaches this ball at the last second. Watch all the way across. Has to get to the 20, and right there extends that ball out.
Perez on first down. Bangs to the 15. Picks up 5.
Same thing we talked about with South Dakota. It's the same conversation for Davis. Good drive. You've overcome that penalty, moving in the right direction. The only thing that's really slowed them down are the 5 turnovers.
Yeah, that's all.
That's all. Just those 5.
But they've moved it so well despite all of that. Perez again. Perez swerving. 1st and goal to the 6.
And really impressive from Mateo Perez, who's had to step up again in place of Lan Larison, who's been out since the 2nd quarter. Done a nice job running the football. I've seen him some. They've direct snapped it to Perez.
And UC Davis on the precipice again. 1st and goal. Hastings wires it. Incomplete. Chaz Davis the target. Shaheed Barrows had the coverage.
It just took too long. Chaz Davis trying to get this to the back line of the end zone on a post. Got tangled up with Shaheed Barrows. That clock is ticking for Miles Hastings right now. He knows he doesn't have a ton of time. He's had pressure in his lap quite a bit today. And this also, first time we're getting to see big Princeton Toki, the 5'11", 375-pound nose tackle, check into the game. The heavy formation is in. Expect this to stay on the ground.
They've also brought in Evan Bearden, the defensive end, as a tight end. They call this the Toki package. Hastings on the move. Hastings trying to run for it. He steps out inside the 5. So 3rd and goal now with 9 minutes to play.
And I say expect it to stay on the ground. I did not anticipate that that meant Miles Hastings would get his first carry of the day.
The coaches told us this week Princeton Toki gets more fired up when he's out on offense than he is on defense. But now Toki exits on 3rd and goal.
4-down territory. Tight end into the flat. Winston Williams. Now he's checked back into the backfield.
Snap it to Perez in their Wildcat. And Perez pushed back. He gained a yard, if that. They spot him back at the 4. It's 4th and goal.
And this looked like a give read to me. This is a read option. Stretch read option with Stacey Dobbins. And I thought that should have been a give. I don't think there's any question you're going for it here. This is a spot on the field. A lot of shallow crosses we've seen. They could also go to Chaz Davis to that back line that was open earlier.
Timeout, UC Davis, their first of the half, 30 seconds.
And I don't think Davis had the personnel group that they wanted in. They had that look where Mateo Perez was in for the Wildcat. Stacey Dobbins still in. I think there's two things here. I think you're either looking for Winston Williams or Ian Simpson, one of the tight ends, or you're trying to create some sort of rub where you're getting a C.J. Hutton or Chaz Davis on that back line. Those are your high percentage red zone throws. There's not a jump ball threat in this offense. There's not somebody that you feel like you can put it up, let them high point it. This is going to have to be something you're rubbing, you're trying to pick, get somebody open either in the flat or on the back line of the end zone.
And you just can't get called for the pick.
Legal pick, of course.
Run your route. Don't just block your man on the way to try to free up your teammate, if that's the call. 4th and goal for UC Davis. A spot in the semifinals hanging in the balance. Davis just trying to stay in it here in the 4th quarter. Is back on the field for the first time since the 2nd quarter. The flip to Hastings, and the throw is caught. A touchdown for Trent Tompkins. The Aggies still have a pulse.
And Lan Larison was all window dressing there. He lines up at quarterback just to flip this back to Hastings, and then watch 18 dragging all the way across the back line. Great catch, another contested catch for Trent Tompkins. A massive play to keep this to now a 1-score game for UC Davis.
If you could trust Larison enough to do just that, it's a brilliant use of a decoy. UC Davis now within 7.
They needed it most. Lan Larison comes back in, and another contested catch for Trent Tompkins. Got a good one, South Dakota.
Get ready for the new 12-team college football playoff with the new ESPN Fantasy CFP Bracket Challenge presented by AT&T. Sign up today.
Got the bracket challenge every March, of course. Why not now with the expanded 12-team playoff in the FBS? Here in the FCS, 24 teams started the playoffs. After today, we'll be down to 4. UC Davis creeping closer. They convert on 4th and goal. Now within a touchdown at 28-21. Got to tackle Keandre Jones-Logan here. Dangerous return man. And they stop him right near the 25. A timeout. 1-score game in the FCS quarterfinals. .7:38 to play here in Vermillion. The semifinals awaiting the winner. Bob Nielsen and South Dakota up a touchdown. They've got the ball back. Yes, Ted Emmerich, Taylor McCarg, our entire crew, so glad that you're with us. You're on quarterfinals Saturday in the FCS. The winner will play Montana State, the top seed in Bozeman, next Saturday on ABC. They're going to lean on Travis Tice at this point. It's up to UC Davis to stop him, and they do here on 1st down. Tice lost a yard.
And curious if we see Karan Adams on this drive. A week ago, that was the guy that sealed the win against Tarleton State. Had the 70-yard touchdown that put that game away. Been quiet the last couple possessions. In the game right now, I think it looks like this UC Davis defense keying on Travis Tice, not allowing him much breathing room. Where is Karan Adams? Do they target him on this possession?
See the time of possession. It's usually flipped in South Dakota's flavor. Absolutely. Week after week. Just another wild element to this game that has featured 8 turnovers combined. Bauman wings it. A catch for Carter Bell. South Dakota's all-time leading receiver moves the chains to the 41. Gain of 15.
And a lot of this is due to the defense keying on Travis Tice. That play action, everybody sucking down towards the line of scrimmage, opens up that back end. Easy pitch and catch, and another good catch for Carter Bell.
Bell's dad, Steve, the head coach at Division III Augustana College in Illinois. Coaches said this week, I mean, you can just tell he's a coach's kid. His work ethic, his dedication, his film study plays out on the field every week. Fake it to Jones-Logan. Bauman throws it back. Tice has it with a lot of room. Tice to the sideline. Phelps the block. And Tice is in the red zone. Massive play. And a creative look from the Coyotes.
Beautiful play design. Starts with the play action to Keandre Jones-Logan. And then this is the throwback. Good throw. Really a better catch from Travis Tice. And then speed down the sideline. Using this defense, this UC Davis defense, so aggressive, going with that flow on the play action to Keandre Jones-Logan, able to take advantage of it with the throwback, with Travis Tice leaking out of the backfield.
A 40-yard pickup. South Dakota now at the 20 of UC Davis. Tice with the carry. And Tice slashes inside the 15. Gain of 8.
That stretch zone for South Dakota. It's so successful, blocked up well on the left side. And Travis Tice, his vision, able to press it to the wide side, then back vertical. Reminds me of those old Arian Foster Houston Texans offenses where you get everything going wide and then create those cutback lanes. Good vision again from Travis Tice.
Those Shanahan running backs.
Absolutely.
Right? Tice gets a breather. Pierre is in. Under 5 to play. South Dakota on the welcome mat. Pierre goes down after a gain of a yard. 3rd and 1 upcoming.
It sound like a broken record, but ball security at an absolute premium. The 2 red zone turnovers for South Dakota at this spot in the game. Coming about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. You just need any score here. Extend this to a 2-score lead. You feel really good about your chances to move on to the semifinals.
And Pierre, who had one of those red zone turnovers, remains in. It's not Tice on 3rd and a yard. They trust Pierre here, and it's 1st and goal.
Again, left side of the offensive line. Everything's washed down. Able to press that vertically exactly like the play is designed. You work to the wide side. As soon as you see that hole in the interior, press it vertically. Another 1st down. And that's interesting that we saw Charles Pierre in for those critical downs. A week ago, it was Travis Tice really the entire game. Pierre had less than 10 carries. This time when it matters most, able to pick up that 1st down.
And of course, South Dakota methodical as ever. We dip down under 3.5. Tice back in. Travis Tice leaping. He's in. Travis Tice ×2. And South Dakota just might be on its way to the semis.
The tight red zone is where Travis Tice shines. Makes one guy miss. Good offensive line play again. I think absolutely stayed up, extended that ball out for a touchdown that all but seals their trip to the FCS semifinals.
The lead back to 2 touchdowns for the Coyotes. Travis Tice with his 2nd touchdown today. He's got 5 of them in South Dakota's 2 playoff games this year. And South Dakota can smell the semifinals. Bob Nielsen says Travis Tice is the most matter-of-fact player on this team. He is all business, all the time, no nonsense, and that's how he runs, Taylor. 35-21 after his 2nd touchdown today. Tice enjoying a 6-year career here at South Dakota. Go back to 2019, out of Pratt, Kansas, population 6,000. He was a quarterback in high school. Bob Nielsen recruits him as a running back, and he earned his degree earlier this year, came back for his 6th season, and now he's on one of the best teams ever here in South Dakota.
And in this landscape of college football, obviously guys move around a ton. It's so refreshing to see someone that stayed through thick and thin, here through COVID. Now an opportunity, and they feel like Missouri Valley Football Conference champions The expectation is they're going to go on the road, assuming they close this out with a win, go on the road and upset Montana State.
Squib kick through the hands of Perez, fielded by UC Davis after all, and taken to the 30-yard line. So yeah, how has Tice looked today? Dominant again.
Well, running the football, we know how good he is between the tackles, but this was that wheel route that really broke the back of this UC Davis defense and does such a good job out of the backfield as well. This is the part of his game in that fourth quarter. It feels like he gets stronger as the game goes along, delivering the blow, and then in that tight red zone, able to cap it off. Another touchdown. The guy that means so much to this Coyotes team.
I showed those pictures. Mom Lindell, Dad Rusty could not be prouder of who Travis Tice has become. Last gasp for Miles Hastings and UC Davis. Flip it to Perez. And Perez with a first down out across the 40-yard line. Picks up 13.
Job from Hastings, working through his progression, get it to the check down. Clock will roll now that picked up the first down. Even though he went out of bounds, clock will restart.
Under 3 minutes now, and Davis does have 2 timeouts remaining, plus the 2-minute timeout.
And this is where if you substitute, you see South Dakota taking a long time, burning off a lot of clock if you substitute right now.
Hastings, the nation's leading passer, coming in, again finds Perez, and it's another first down across the 45 of South Dakota.
If I'm Tim Plow, I'm keeping the same personnel group this entire time, at least down until the 2-minute timeout.
And by the way, Miles Hastings is closing in on becoming the Aggies' all-time leading passer. Time keeps ticking away here. Approaching the 2-minute mark as Blake Holden just walks off the field with the substitution. Might be the last play before the 2-minute timeout. Third straight catch for Perez, tackled at the 35 with a gain of 7. And we are at the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes to go. South Dakota up 2 scores. Semifinals right through the windshield. South Dakota has been at the FCS level since 2008. And they're now 2 minutes away from their first ever semifinal appearance. Montana State awaits. The top seed, undefeated, took care of Idaho last night in Bozeman. Semifinals next Saturday on ABC. UC Davis has it 2nd and 3. And Perez with the first down to the 25-yard line. This game, Taylor, just wild from the start. 8 combined takeaways, but 5 of them from the South Dakota defense really making a difference. Hastings, the deep drop. And down the seam for Chaz Davis. And 1st and goal for the Aggies as Miles Hastings just became UC Davis's all-time leading passer, more than 11,000 yards in his career. Passing Jake Mayer, JT O'Sullivan, former NFL quarterback, on that list as well. Now to the end zone, and an interception. How else to cap the day? This time it's middle linebacker Gary Bryant III. 6 takeaways, 5 interceptions by the Coyote defense.
And another one created by pressure up front. In the lap of Miles Hastings, trying to throw the over route to the back of the end zone, not able to step into this throw. And that pass rush, watch again, sits right in the lap of Hastings. Another contested throw, trying to hit Chaz Davis on the back. I think ill-advised throw. You see all the black jerseys in the end zone. And the 6th takeaway created by this South Dakota defense.
An incredible career for Miles Hastings. But this day belongs to South Dakota, and especially their defense. Pierre crashes to the 23. You know, South Dakota, Taylor, wins a share of the Missouri Valley this year, the league that has run the FCS for so many years. South Dakota State, North Dakota State combining for 11 of the last 13 titles. South Dakota beats North Dakota State in the regular season finale to earn a share of the conference title for the first time ever. This senior group, Bob Nielsen, they have talked all year about doing something that no South Dakota team has ever done. They accomplished that, and now they're going to accomplish going to the semifinals for the first time ever.
And it's not just a hope. It is the expectation that they will go on the road next week for this bunch. They believe go on the road, beat Montana State. You already touched on it. They had the win at home against North Dakota State to get a share of the conference title. Win on the road, lost by just a field goal to South Dakota State. So this is not a group in South Dakota that's happy to be here, happy to compete. It is an absolute expectation that they have a chance, run the table the next 2 weeks, and win a national championship.
They have the look of one. They have all the elements that you need. Pierre again. And Pierre rolls his way to the 28. You know, last year, South Dakota, as a timeout is called yet again here with 1:20 to go. Their run ended right here on this field in the quarterfinals. They got blown out by North Dakota State. And Bob Nielsen, their coach, said this week, we've been talking since that game. That is not where our story should end. And it won't this year here in 2024.
He talked to us about that on the call this week, about the senior leadership. They're led by their veterans. They've leaned on them all year. And Aiden Bauman, all that we've talked about with Travis Tice and Charles Pierre, Aiden Bauman played great today. Had some turnover issues, but especially in the first half, most of their chunk plays and their explosive plays came in the passing game. It wasn't running the football in the first half.
253 yards, 3 touchdowns for Bauman, and yes, the 2 interceptions as well. 3rd and 2, UC Davis out of timeouts. Pierre again, first down. That ties the ribbon on this one. Back-to-back years with 10 wins, at least. They're about to move to 11 this year. Their most since joining Division I. Back-to-back years as a top 4 seed. But South Dakota's taken the next step this year. With an efficient quarterback in Aiden Bauman, a dominant running game with Tice and Pierre, that offensive line, and a defense that has become a ball hawk unit here in the playoffs.
You said it exactly right, Ted. They have the look of a group that can win a national championship. The explosiveness on the offensive side, the physicality on the defensive side, ability to create takeaways. And oh, by the way, again, I think the best offensive line unit in FCS football.
The year of firsts for Bob Nielsen in South Dakota continues. Their first Missouri Valley Conference title, and now their first ever trip to the FCS semifinals. 35-21, the Coyotes knock out UC Davis. And next week, South Dakota will take its shot at the top seed, undefeated Montana State in Bozeman. South Dakota endured its own turnover woes today. Had 3 of them. A couple interceptions by Bauman. But the defense rises up with 5 takeaways of its own. Bauman throws for 3 touchdowns. Travis Tice runs for a couple. And South Dakota keeps playing.
The defensive effort and ability to create takeaways the last couple weeks, unbelievable. 9 combined takeaways since the playoffs started, had 11 during the regular season. You can carry even a fraction of that production in takeaways on the road with you against Montana State. That is huge, and that's something that they're going to need in that environment. Creating short fields, takeaways, and that red zone defense. It showed up again here today. It's a complete team, top down, that senior leadership. There's talent everywhere. And Ted, you said it a minute ago. I echo it again. This absolutely has the look and makeup of a team that can win their next 2 games and win the FCS National Championship.
And we check out the bracket. So 3 of the 4 spots in the semifinals are filled. It's Missouri Valley versus Big Sky again next week. In that top semifinal, 1 seed versus 4 seed, Montana State, South Dakota. The 2-time defending national champs, South Dakota State, moving on. And North Dakota State, their Dakota marker rivals, up 24-7, early 4th quarter on ABC right now. So you could very well have 3 of the 4 teams from the Missouri Valley in the FCS semifinals.
And have it go chalk 1 through 4. And that's been these teams, I think, in a lot of ways we expected, especially a Montana State. But South Dakota, the last 2 weeks, facing offenses that throw the football extremely well. Tarleton State, and then today against UC Davis. Those 2, their passing attacks were unbelievable. They answered the bell, and creating those takeaways, obviously a huge part of that.
Meanwhile, the run-ins for Tim Plow and UC Davis, their best ever run since joining the FCS 20 years ago. Travis Tice joins us now. Travis, Ted and Taylor here upstairs. First of all, congratulations on the victory. Couple of touchdowns today after 3 last week. Travis, where does your running style come from?
I don't know, man. Just what I do, just run hard. Got to get after it for those O-linemen, you know?
You guys ran the ball obviously well again today. You've done that all season, but I want to ask you about either that wheel route or that throwback up the sideline. That looks like something you obviously are comfortable with. Is that your favorite route?
It's definitely one of them. Had a long one, like a 50-yarder earlier in the season. That was pretty fun. The corner came on that one, so I was wide open. That's a pretty fun play.
Travis, you and your team have accomplished things that have never been done before at South Dakota. The first Missouri Valley Conference title, now the first ever trip to the FCS semifinals. What has fueled you and your teammates all season?
We had a goal all year, man. It was to win a championship. We got 1, we want 2, so that's our goal.
Well, congratulations, Travis, and go celebrate with your teammates, and best of luck moving forward.
Thank you. Will do. Thank you, guys.
Travis, congrats again. Man, a few words. I would expect nothing less. The coaches describe him as no nonsense. It's kind of what he is. So South Dakota on to the FCS semifinals for the first time ever. Bob Nielsen and Travis Tice leading the way, as always. They'll match up with Montana State next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. That'll do it today in the quarterfinals. From Vermillion, for Taylor McCarg and our entire crew, Ted Emmerich saying so long. South Dakota's best season ever in Division I just got better.